It's a beautiful Thursday morning. We're so happy you can join us this morning.
Yes. Welcome to Breakfast Daily. From wherever you're watching us in the world, you're welcome this morning. And my name is David Kwekusechi.
And I am Jifa Ikuya Amatam. Now, don't forget that it's an interactive show. So wherever you are, we want to hear from you. To join the conversation, simply use the hashtag Breakfast Daily.
Yes, and we have a WhatsApp line as well at 0550-585832. Kindly prefix that with +233 if you happen to be outside the shores of Ghana.
Now, tomorrow is a Friday, and it's also the last day of July.
Yes, it's the last day of July. It's a holiday.
Yes.
It's
Farouk already told me that he's going to bring us a lot of food tomorrow.
Oh, really?
So
I see.
Thank you very much, Farouk, for being so generous.
We're going to hold you to your word.
Let's finish this month hard. It's very easy to say, listen, let's party our way to the end of the month, but whatever goals you set for yourself that you've not achieved, today's the day to get it done.
You got to do it. Well, we start the show off every day with a quote, so let's take a look at our quote for today, and then we'll continue the conversation. So the quote for today comes from Ashton Kutcher, who says,
I love his movies.
Yeah. Don't settle for what life gives you. Make life better and build something. I think it's a good reminder at this time as we head into the last day of the month. And, sometimes we almost like throw our hands in the air. Almost like, we don't have a say in what is happening to us. But whatever you're given, this other saying that says, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. So whatever you're given is actually just a seed.
Yeah.
You decide what fruit will come out of that, and I think it's important to remember that.
Yeah, and I think there's always a silver lining in everything. It's easy to discount what you have and see what someone has as a bigger thing than you. But wherever it is you are, ask yourself, what can I do with the little I have to move me one step further to attaining whatever goals I've set for myself. And before you know it, you're already there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the last couple of days, there's been some agitations. This thing doesn't seem to want to go away, but I think it's a very important conversation for us to have. I remember the first time it came up earlier this year, or it was towards the end of last year.
It's been going on for a year, over a year now, actually.
My opinion is actually a little more radical than those that I've heard. I think we need to review the law. Because laws exist within a society to help the society to be structured and to be governed, right? I think it's important for us to look at the law again and ask ourselves, does it even make sense at this point, right? Because ECOWAS has a general overarching legal system that says this is the way we want to behave as a society within the west of Africa, right? Do our laws that are in the country, the individual countries, are they in consonance with what has been agreed across the board? These are things we need to look at. And there may be some point in reviewing some of these things, where we have to do that. But anyway, the Abosokai traders were up in arms,
locking up Nigerian traders' shops, which I think is ridiculous because the law is one thing. You taking the law in your own hands, it's a completely different thing. And we've had this happen in Swami Magazine, among others. But let's take a look at the report and then we'll continue the conversation.
Absolutely.
Was set up by government as part of measures to resolve the impasse between local retailers, largely led by the Ghana Union Traders Association (GUTA), and foreign retailers, mostly Nigerian nationals. The committee recently embarked on an operation to inspect the documents of these foreigners engaged in retail trade in Accra. This exercise was done after members of GUTA shut down about 600 foreign-owned shops for about 6 months. After the inspection, some of the shops were reopened for business activities when their documents were confirmed to be legitimate. although Guta claims otherwise. According to the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association, the committee has failed to replicate the exercise in their area. As a result, angry traders locked up about 150 Nigerian-owned retail shops in the enclave. The shops were locked with notices and red bands posted on them. Some of the Nigerian traders were spotted standing helplessly in front of their shops. Co-chairman of the association, Nana Kwabena Pepra, spoke to City Business News.
As you can see, we are now doing registration, and then you see how the politicians is trying to protect their constituency by not allowing foreigners to register. The same thing applies to we traders. We have rules and regulations in this country. I think the GIPC law, everybody knows about the GIPC law. And you know how the laws allow even a foreigner to apply in retail trade by going through some process, by registering with GIPC, for GIPC to give them a certificate and indicate where they can apply their trade. Government has set up a committee. As I'm speaking, I'm part of the committee. But what people are saying is that the committee work is not going on as they expected. What they want to see is that they want to see an agency being applying to what the committee should do. That is why people are agitating, because committee started to work. It works from December last year. But as I'm speaking now, we have done only about 3 visits at Circle, without going round to all the country. So all what the traders are calling for is that the committee should work, and they should work vigorously in order to let them see that we are trying to apply the law of the state, so that the agitation should go down.
The Nigerian Union of Traders in Ghana, NUTAG, debunked the claims by the Spare Parts Dealers Association that they locked up about 150 shops. The union says it is yet to decide its next line of action.
Because it seems like we have no power to react. However, we are dependent on government decision to calm down the situation here, because we, at this point, can no longer take what Ghanaian traders are doing to us. What do I mean? We are ready to go home, and we're also ready to die, whichever one comes first. I'm waiting for police commander to give us instruction. It's less than 100, it's over 60. Yes. We are less than 1% in Aboso. In fact, I can say less than 0.5%, because if you look at the number of people in Abosoka and they are talking about 100, you are not mentioning any number. So why are we trade to them? They're just doing it for their own selfish interests, and I don't really know the reason why they're doing that. And that is tormenting our life already, because we cannot sleep.
Many of these Nigerian traders you see right behind me have their shops closed down by members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association here at Abosokan. And according to Guta, the notices have been posted on their shops indicating that they have to produce documents that permit them to engage in retail business here at Abosokan. And so that is done, their shops will remain closed. Reporting from Abosokan here in Accra, I'm Ni Ayukwe Okain for City.
All right, so you see there the report from our colleague. And for me, this is a very simple issue. There's a law, and there's something called law enforcement. And there are those who are agents of law enforcement. It doesn't include the citizenry. Okay, so the traders, the members of Guta, the Ghanaian traders, are not law enforcement agents. It does not lie in their hands to walk to people's stores and lock them up at will just because they have numbers on their side. Okay, I think it's irresponsible. I think it's wrong. I think that they are breaking the law as much as those who they claim are not abiding by the law. It's a very important thing for us to understand that in a state that is governed by law, if we permit individual pockets of people, groups of people, to randomly apply or enforce what they perceive to be righteous justice, at will, what we are setting ourselves up is for a state of anarchy. All right? So anybody can get up and say, I don't agree with what you're doing, therefore I'm applying the law. No, that's why we have the police. That's why we have the legal system. That's why we have a system for seeking legal redress at any point in time. So there's no way that anybody should be able to get up and say that we're going to lock up their shops. Why are you not redressing, going to the police to say, this is the issue, going to GIPC to say, this is the issue? You say you set up a committee. You're not waiting for the committee to work because you're saying that the committee is taking too long about it. I don't understand what's going on here. And I think that the government needs to come clear on its position on this matter. The law is actually clear, but there's a confusion because people are saying that what is the definition of marketplace? And so all of this is going on and it's festering. Now, my personal thinking, and I'm sure Jifa also has her own perspective on this, but my personal thinking about this is that the Ghanaian traders like to profiteer, okay? And this thing that we're talking about is something that everybody knows. As soon as Ghanaians get the chance, we want to hike up prices. We see this among the drivers. For an example, right? Prices go up. We see that the fuel prices have gone down, and yet there's an excuse and a justification for maintaining the prices, even though the numbers in the public vehicles, the trotros and buses and the rest, have gone back to full capacity. We still want to maintain prices. Okay, we love to profiteer at any point in time to the disadvantage of fellow Ghanaians. That's what we do all the time. So I had a comment a couple of days ago by this same gentleman, Mr. Naji, that as soon as they locked up their shops, this was some time ago, and they were locked up for about 6 months, the prices that they were selling of the things, the products they were selling, prices started to go up. Why is that? Because the foreign traders, specifically the Nigerian traders, tend to have lower prices in the market space. And my suspicion is that the Ghanaian traders do not like that because they want to sell their products at higher prices. This, to me, is the bottom line of what's going on here. And so if we get rid of them, we can sell their things at whatever price we want. And people will not go to them. We've got to do the right thing.
Yeah, and for me, let's forget about the Ghanaian traders for a minute and focus on ourselves as Ghanaians. I'll start with a quote by Martin Luther King that says, "In the end, I will not remember the actions of my enemies, but the silence of my friends." All of us have family members who have migrated to other countries. How would we feel if people in that country target our family members who are only there to make ends meet? Sometimes they take lower salaries. Sometimes they sell their products at a lower price just so that they can make enough to take care of us back home. Guta, some members of Guta, these Ghanaian traders, they've been doing this for years, and we've all remained silent. Are we waiting for a Nigerian to die before we speak up against what they are doing? Because these Ghanaian traders are not lawyers, they are not the police force, they are not the jury, and they're certainly not the judge of laws of this land. They can't walk into these markets and close these shops down. And the earlier we nip this in the bud, the better. We have Ghanaians in Nigeria if Nigerians target them because, one, maybe their business models are just not that great, maybe they want to profiteer, maybe they are just terrible businessmen, so they find it easy to just target immigrants and put their frustrations out on them. And if Nigerian citizens remain silent as these happen to Ghanaians, will we be okay with it? And if we will not be okay with it, then it is time we start speaking up against this barbaric act. We are not in a state of anarchy. We can't just walk into somebody's house and do whatever we want because policemen are not enforcing the laws. We can't walk into someone's shop and close it down because we are not enforcing the law. The audacity of these Ghanaian traders blows my mind. And the fact that we've all remained silent all these years speak volumes. It's one thing for them to go out into this market and act as though they don't have laws governing this land. And another thing for all of us to be silent while it happens. It starts like this. Xenophobia starts like this.
Exactly.
Closing down shops.
Exactly. Targeting
people who are marginalized. As you heard from Mr. Naji there, they are less than 1% of the population in Abosokai. So if the other 99% cannot revisit their business model, if they cannot trade with competitive pricing and they would rather target them, then it says more about the large majority of Ghanaian traders there than it says about the Nigerian traders. And I urge Ghanaians to begin speaking up about this, because wrong is wrong, even if no one else wants to speak up about it. We all know what they are doing is wrong. If this had happened to our family members in any other part of the world, we would not like it. And this isn't who we are as a people. Ghanaians are not this barbaric. We don't do this. So if they're doing this, they are a reflection of all of us, and our silence is our consent. The minute we continue to stay silent, it means that we are approving what they are doing. And I'm sure we don't approve of this act. So it's about time we called these Ghanaian traders to order. They are not GSA, they are not FDA, they can't determine what products are substandard. Go to Makola, go to Kantamanto, people are selling fabrics at a cheaper price. GTP has been complaining for years. ATL has practically shut down because they can't compete with all these cheap fabrics on our marketplaces.
Sold by Ghanaians.
Have you seen GTP, ATL, all these fabric companies walking into these shops to close down their operation? No. Whatever is good for Nigerian traders, also good for Ghanaian traders who are flooding our markets with substandard counterfeit goods that are cheaper than products that are produced locally. Half of the stuff they are selling at Abosokai are imported anyway. So there's no justification for their actions. Are they saying GIPC is there for absolutely no reason? Are they saying Ministry of Trade has no sense to enforce the laws? Then let's close down these institutions. Let's go and close down GIPC. Let's go and close down Ministry of Trade and Industry, and let's let members of GUTA enforce the laws for us. If that's what we are saying, let's just do that. If that is not what we are saying, then we need to start calling them to order.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think about the fact that we love to travel, and a lot of Ghanaians are in different countries. We started out, went to Europe, we flooded Europe, Holland, Germany, France, so many Ghanaians out there. Then we started looking towards America. Then we started going towards the East, the Middle East and the Far East. And Ghanaians are everywhere, hustling, trading, struggling, getting jobs, trying to do businesses, all of this. If people turn their eyes on us to target us, think about it. You first said it earlier. You can't imagine the horror and the trauma that is going to cause us if people were to turn around and target us. We are sitting quietly and allowing a few people within our society to target marginalized groups, minority groups, foreigners, specifically Nigerians. Let's be careful. that this thing doesn't come back and bite us. Let's do the right thing. For me, it goes all the way up to government. We need to put our foot down and decide which way this is going to go. Once and for all.
Beyond these Nigerian traders, I think these members of Ghanaian businesses, I don't even want to add them to Guta, because it's not all of them that are doing this. They are the biggest threats to all the progress we've made with the year of return.
Yeah.
Because if I'm in America, I'm in Europe, I'm a black person, and I see what Ghanaians are doing to their fellow Nigerians who are West African, who are African, I will have no motive to move into a country like that. Because it's the way you treat your brother today that's going to determine how you treat me tomorrow.
It's a prediction.
So if we care about year of return, welcoming black people everywhere into this country, black people also includes Nigerians. So if we want to revisit the law, let's do it. If not, we need to call these members of Ghanaian businesses to order. They can't continue behaving like this, because the rest of the world is going to look at us and say we are hypocrites. On the one hand, we are welcoming black people everywhere into this country. On the other hand, we are terrorizing our own brothers who are just next door to us.
Literally.
We need to do better.
Yeah. Well, News Review is up next. My name is David Kwekusechi.
And I am Jifa Ekia Ametam Dongo. Anywhere, we will be right back.
There is nothing as hard as a diamond. For buildings with superior strength that withstand all weather conditions, Diamond Cement should be your preferred choice. Locate Diamond Cement nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrady and Bupe. Diamond Cement, as hard as a diamond.
All right, welcome back. It's time for us to get into the news review segment. I'm going to read the headlines of the papers that we have here. We'll do a few online stories. I'll introduce my guest to you, and we'll have a conversation. Today promises to be really interesting. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, we have Make Asset Declaration Public. Che Mensah Bonsu is advocating. President cuts short for Tamale Yendi water projects. Okay, special supplement in the Daily Graphic on Idol Adha. All right, Electoral Commission compilation of new voters register 2020 Greater Accra Movement Plan, the final phase for compilation. Domelevo's office not shut. This is the board chair speaking. And KGL Technology gets online lottery license operation. 5 more arrested over Kafaba lynching. On front page of the Ghanaian Times, President's directive to Auditor General to proceed on leave. Supreme Court strikes out Domelevo case. Keep nation focused on COVID-19 as election 2020 approaches. Sam Jonah appeals to media. MacDan donates 3 dialysis machines to 37 military hospital. Parliament approves over 11.8 billion Ghana cedi supplementary budget. On the front page of the Chronicle, we are fed up with Domelevo. Is he a baby? This is from the board chair. Oferiatta accounts for 54 million Ghana cedi COVID-19 chop money. 253 million US dollar water project begins in Tamale and Yendi. All right, so let's do some online stories. We go to citynewsroom.com. And on citynewsroom.com, we have Isaac Adongo accuses government of massaging figures on Ghana's fiscal deficit. 5 arrested over Kafaba lynching. My support for Muntie 3, not an endorsement of their actions, says Prof. Opokwajiman. EC suspends voter registration on Friday over Eid al-Adha celebration. Parliament approves government's 11.8 billion Ghana cedi supplementary budget. And on citybusinessnews.com, we have GSS Multi-Dimensional Poverty Index report paints gloomy picture of poverty levels. Post-COVID-19, a green bank in the 2021 budget crucial, says the IES. Fossil fuel industry in survival mode. This is from the IES analysis. Most capable Land Rover Defender with 2.0 and 3.0 engine capacity options have been launched. COVID-19. Newmont Ghana signs MOU with KCCR to provide support worth 3 million Ghana cedis. And on my Joy Online, we have the Audit Service Board chairman justifies change of locks at Domelevo's office while on leave. And then on BBC.com, Africa Live, we have Gambia leader in isolation after VP contracts coronavirus, COVID-19. All right, so for more news, kindly visit citynewsroom.com. And for more business news, kindly visit citybusinessnews.com. All right, so welcome back, and we are going to be delving into some interesting stories this morning. My guests are seated. I'll introduce them in a second, but we're going to be talking about the audit service and all the brouhaha that's going on there. The board chair now, also the Auditor General proceeded on leave. His deputy is acting in his stead, but as soon as he proceeds on leave, his office locks get changed, and the board chair is not happy with him because he's accusing him of always running to the media to report things that are going on within the service that he's not happy about, and so on. So we're going to delve into that conversation. Again, the voters registration exercise that's ongoing. There's some issues happening there, confrontation between an armed civilian and an officer. We'll delve into that a bit. And then again, we'll just touch briefly also on Prof. Opokwajiman's comments on her signing of the release for the Montier 3. All right, so I have in studio Andrew Mensah, Honorable Andrew Mensah, who is the MP for 2nd D. Good morning, how are you, sir?
I'm well. Good morning. It's been a while.
How's 2nd D?
2nd D is not too bad. Of course.
Bacano for what's it then? Nice one.
Great. I'm excited that you know Bacano.
Oh, yeah.
And I suppose other places in 2nd D as well. Great.
So, my other guest will be joining us soon. Ras Mubarak will be joining us. The MP of Kumbungu will be joining us soon. We'll get him. But let me start with you. Let's begin the conversation. Let me quickly read the story here in the Chronicle. Let me just get into that. Okay. So, Honorable Ras Mubarak, MP for Kumbungu. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, David. It's good to see you again.
Yes, it's good to have you here with us, joining us by Zoom. How are things in Kumbungu?
Well, everything is exciting. You know, we're currently in Parliament. We'll be adjourning today for Eid al-Adha celebration.
Okay.
And I must use this opportunity to wish all of my Muslim constituents and indeed, Ghanaians up and down the country who are Muslims and would be celebrating Eid al-Adha, and Muslims all over the world. I use this opportunity to wish them the very best of everything. David, is the Muslim feast of sacrifice.
Yes.
You remember the story of Abraham,
yes,
where God asked him to sacrifice a child. So this is one day on the calendar of Muslims that we take very seriously. And it's all excitement. In many Muslim homes across the world, not just in Ghana.
Yeah.
So I wish everyone the very best this Eid al-Adha. And for those who wouldn't be celebrating, I wish them a wonderful holiday tomorrow.
Fantastic. Let's just quickly, I want to hear your comments just briefly on the incidents in Kafaba. 5 more people have been arrested. We won't delve too much into that story, but it looks like the police have intensifying their investigations up north and making sure that justice is served. Let me hear your comments first.
Well, let me associate myself with the sentiments expressed by my good friend Ras. I was hoping to see you in studio. I didn't know that you were going to do offline. Otherwise, I would have requested to do offline as well. But it's all good. Of course, I wish all our Muslim brothers here in Ghana and also in my constituency particularly happy Eid celebration tomorrow. I was surprised that during your intro you said that you touched briefly on the Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman comment.
Well, we'll get into that. That will be our third conversation.
Because I think it's a major subject that we need to interrogate.
Okay.
Because this matter came up 4 years ago, and there was extensive public outcry.
Okay.
There was not a single comment from her. We'll get there. But I think it's exciting that some arrests have been made. I take this opportunity to commend the Ghana Police Service, the IGP, for dispatching the homicide team up north. And already we've seen 5 or 6 arrests, because initially the chief, we're told, was arrested because of the role that he played in the entire debacle. What happened over the weekend, David, I do not have the stomach to watch videos of that nature, violent content videos, and so I, up until now, have still not watched the lynching.
I haven't watched it either. I can't bring myself to watch it.
Grievous.
I won't watch it.
Lynching of a vulnerable 90-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Purely on some baseless assertion that she's a witch. And so I'm gratified, particularly having heard that the chief had been arrested, and subsequently this morning, hearing of the 5 arrests. I think that the police should move with dispatch as they've already done, conclude their investigations and bring the perpetrators to book. And of course, even when the perpetrators are prosecuted, I don't expect that this matter should drag on in extenso, as we've seen in other instances, particularly with the Major Mahama incident as well, which has been going on for quite some time. I understand, having worked within the judicial system in our country, that sometimes the wheels of justice grind slowly. But I would request of the Chief Justice to dedicate a specific court that would, as it were, deal with some of these matters that touch on the conscience of the nation. Because I don't believe that Ghanaians in our nature are barbaric. And so when some people take it upon themselves to met such heinous acts on innocent, vulnerable people, I guess that it's important that we dedicate some more time in ensuring that those persons are dealt with under the full rigors of the law, to serve as a deterrent to some other persons who may wish to engage in these kinds of activities in the future.
Yeah, let me just quickly get Ras Mubarak's thoughts on this. Ras, what do you think? What do you make of where we find ourselves right now, as far as the story is concerned?
Well,
just briefly.
It is most unfortunate, and what had happened in that little village, in that little community, is a stain on the conscience of all Ghanaians. And I'm more saddened by the outpouring of supposed grief all of a sudden. Are we not aware as a country that there are witch camps, scattered all over the country, where older people, where senior citizens, men and women, are held in captivity, are tortured, are beaten up on a daily basis. These things are happening, and they've been, these camps have been around for decades, So to have this level of outpouring of grief, as sad as that is, by society, is most regrettable, And what we need to be doing at this particular moment is to close down all of those witch camps, that are scattered across the country. I mean, it takes someone without an iota of compassion to have perpetrated the kind of heinous crime that they perpetuated on that poor 90-year-old woman. Since when has it been a crime to be an older person? Since when is it a crime to be old and poor? And so, for which reason, if one is old and poor and there's a calamity in a community, it is blamed on an elderly person? What kind of society is this? These are relics of the 18th century that we should shed as quickly as possible.
I agree.
And if we really want to demonstrate, commitment to protecting them, we would quickly go in to close down the so-called witch camps that are up and down the country.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. I agree with you. Let's get into the main story for today, or one of the main stories for today, the Audit Service Bureau. I'm going to read from the Chronicle, and it says here, we are fed up with Domelevo. There's a story by Max Olofori. It says, the plight of the Auditor General Daniel Yao Domelevo may not end following the outburst of the board chairman of the institution, revealing they were fed up with his attitude. The board chairman of the Audit Service, Dr. Edward Dua-Agyemang, has raised concerns over what he took to mean a penchant to run to the media with developments at his office, asking if, quote, he was a baby. Dr. Dua-Agyemang's rant followed reports on Tuesday that the keys to Domelevo's office had been changed. The currently on accumulated leave AG realized this when he passed through the office to pick up some of his documents. Speaking on Star FM yesterday, Dr. Duhajiman suggested that Mr. Domelevo could go everywhere he deemed fit. But explaining the basis for the change of the keys, the board chairman indicated that following the leave of the AG, the board felt it necessary to secure his office. What is this with Mr. Domelevo always running to the media? Is he a baby? We are fed up with Domelevo always going to the media. He can go wherever he wants to go. When Mr. Domelevo left on the 1st of July, the board felt there was a need to secure his office. So the locks were changed and the keys were left where they belong, he said. But in an anti-corruption campaigner, Vitas Azim, has described as unfortunate the decision of the Audit Service Board to change the locks of the Office of the Auditor General. For them to change the locks, and I quote, to Domelevo's office is very unfortunate. I don't think it's the best approach, and it's a dent on the image of the AG's office. A Star FM online report quoted. Vitas Azim was also quoted as saying, it's a bad perception coming from a president who said he was going to fight corruption and was tagged incorruptible by his people. But unfortunately, personal interest supersedes national interest. I'll stop here and I'll have first reaction from you, Mr. Mesa.
You see, I am surprised at the conclusions that Mr. Vitas Azim has drawn from the story.
Really? Why?
So what has the president got to do with this?
Okay.
Whatever is happening at the audit service and the Auditor General's office got to do with successfully the president?
Well, is it not the president who directed him to go on leave?
But of course, if he has accumulated leave, why is he not supposed to take it?
How many of us in Ghana don't have accumulated leave?
Well, look, I don't know about you, but I don't have any accumulated leave.
Okay.
Because the nature of my work is such that when I go on recess, it is deemed that I'm on leave.
Okay.
You see, let us distinguish clear actions from institutions of state that are carrying out a certain activity. You may disagree with what it is that they've done, but why draw His Excellency the President in?
Okay, I see your point.
That's why my worry is. Okay, or is it because the presidency is the appointing authority of all boards of state agencies? Whatever it is that is done at any agency is attributable to the president.
Well, I mean,
we don't have to do this to ourselves. Look, you see, I have a huge problem with Mr. Domelevo's action that he took the last time by going to the office. Because you see, we live in a country where we all know that when people are on leave, in some institutions, they even lock you out of their system. They deny you even corporate email access. You're only required to attend office on request. I'm coming. Now, hold on.
Institution can
plenty.
You cite as an example?
Private sector, public sector, plenty.
Such as
private sector, First Atlantic Bank, they will deny you email access.
Okay.
You can't have access to the system of the bank.
Okay.
And why would you be? You're only required on request to perform specific assignments when you are needed. When you're on leave, you're on leave. But just think about what it is that happened when Mr. Domelevo went there. Clearly, he must have acted on some information from within that, oh, your doors have been locked. So he took cameras with him, or he himself went and recorded this incident and then posted it to the media. Right, if you want to go to your office to go and pick your constitution, not essential medicine, not some life-threatening information, your copy of the Constitution of the Republic is what you go to the office to go and pick. You cannot request that, look, I've come, the door is locked, what's happening? Okay, can I get access to pick up my Constitution and leave? Do you have to record the events and post it to the media? Then obviously questions ought to be asked as to what your motive really is. Because you see, look, and the issue,
not yet, almost.
The issue
your time
regarding his leave, the rightfulness or otherwise of it, is before the court. And I endorse his action, or whoever, the civil society organizations that are fighting for his restoration. Because I'm an ardent believer in due process. His Excellency the President, based on advice, obviously from his Attorney General's department and Minister of Justice, deemed that, look, per the Constitution and the Audit Service Act, if you have accumulated leave and your board has requested you to proceed on your leave, not termination, your own leave, and you say that you're not going to go, the President was right in asking you to proceed on leave. You may disagree. And if you disagree, the right thing to do is to proceed to court and ask for an interpretation of the provisions. Legitimate. And that's exactly what he's doing. So why don't we wait for that outcome from the due process point of view, so that we can interrogate the issues further, whether indeed the Supreme Court, which would ultimately give a final decision on the matter, directs that he be asked to return to office, and that there is no provision in our laws that says that when you have accumulated leave, you ought to be compelled to go. Okay? But you go to the office with cameras.
All right,
just so you put it out in the public domain to engage in the usual politicking.
I'll come back to you. All right.
Very unfortunate.
All right, Ras. What are your comments about this so far?
Let me say good morning to David. Good morning to Mesa, and let me also dispel some of the things that he's purporting on live radio. To begin with, there is no proof that Mr. Yaodomilevo recorded the incident. And clearly, if you had seen the video, he couldn't have been the one, trying to turn on the key at the same time recording from behind. If you watch the video clearly, you could see that the video was recorded from behind. That is number one. Secondly, clearly, there is no proof that Mr. Daniel Yaodomilevo went to the place with the media. And I'm surprised that this is coming from, a lawyer in good standing at the bar, all in the name of political opportunism and point scoring. What this administration has done to our institutions, or is doing to our institutions, is most sad, David. Most sad to the extent that day in, day out, we are seeing an erosion of our good governance processes. And I'm sure we will come to the issue of security a bit later. Yaodomilevo is, an officer of the state. He's going to stay home for over 100 days with pay. To begin with, there is no law, and I challenge Mercer to point it out, that says if you were unable to go on your leave, you can carry it forward. There's no law in the country that says that. There is no law. Either the Public Service Act, there is absolutely no law. The Code of Conduct, there is no law that says you can carry forward your leave period. Okay? So if one were unable to go on leave last year, it clearly should not mean the leave period should be carried forward. David, are you with me?
I'm with you.
Secondly, the point that Yaodomilevo was on leave and for which reason he can't access his emails. Again, I point out to my honorable colleague Mercer that it can't be good governance practice. If an officer, either in a public or private institution, is on leave, normally you would get what, and David, I'm sure you might have, all viewers might have, received such information. If you write to an officer who is on leave, normally you would get an automatically generated response that the officer is unavailable for, this particular period and would be back, and then you are directed to contact somebody else. Okay? And the fact that Yadomilevo is on leave does not mean he can't access his office. For all you know, he has personal stuff that he had left in the office, and nothing stopped him from going to the office to pick them up. To begin with, the time he was asked to go on leave and the time he was asked to pack out of his office was so short that he may have forgotten about something. I mean, you are given less than 48 hours to pack out of your office and proceed on leave. And this is not a dismissal, this is a leave. So there is nothing that says if you're on leave, you can't swing by your office, to pick up documents. There's nothing that says that. And as an honorable member of parliament, you expect that he would be for the strengthening of institutions. He would be for good governance, and not this kind, and not this type of this way of doing things. The president, when he was campaigning as president, when he was candidate Akufo-Addo, promised the good people of Ghana that he was going to do things differently, that things were going to be better. We least expected that he was going to take us into the black and white era of the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
We least expected that he was going to take us into the black and white era.
Okay, Russ.
And that's exactly what is happening.
Russ, we need to take a short break. I'll come back to you after this short break. So don't lose your train of thought. Okay. We're going to take a short break.
That's fine. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. The unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family, because every smile matters.
Welcome back. The show is interactive, so kindly use the hashtag Breakfast Daily. The WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. If you happen to be outside Ghana, you want to contribute to the show, kindly prefix that number with +233. So we've been talking about the audit service brouhaha, the fact that the board chair says he's fed up with the way the Auditor General has been acting. And Ras Mubarak, who's the MP for Kumbungu, was making a submission before we went on a short break. I'll have him continue. Ras, please go ahead.
Thank you, David. So this is all part of an orchestrated attempt to get rid of an Auditor General at the threshold of investigating the expenditure on the COVID-19 funds. And because they do not want the good people of Ghana to get a full picture of how they have misappropriated, those funds, they needed to get rid of him. That's what this is all about. It has nothing to do with Mr. Yadomilevo's leave. Otherwise, why did they not ask him to go on leave last year? Why did they not ask him to go on leave in 2018? But wait till now, when it's so close to elections, when they know that any scandal emanating from the executive arm of government could spell doom for them. I mean,
but Ras, are you not stretching it too much? Because really,
I'm not. I'm not, David, and I'm not, because the Auditor General had been petitioned to look into the disbursement of funds, to look into the COVID-19 expenditure. He had been petitioned to look into it, and to imagine that they would get someone who is supposedly, or quote unquote, one of them in the picture clearly, tells you that they have a lot to hide from the good people of Ghana. And that is why they wanted to get rid of him. And that is why they have, in spite of wise counsel from civil society, from governance experts, they still asked him to go on accumulated leave. And I ask you, David, would CTFM pay you to sit at home for 120 days? And I ask the general public, if this was anybody's private business, would a private business owner pay somebody to sit at home for even 50 days, not doing anything, just sit at home? So it tells you the inefficiencies in our public sector. And to think that a lawyer in good standing would want to justify that is most sad.
All right, okay.
It's very, very sad. We need to be building institutions, and not eroding and not taking the nation backward.
All right, okay, fair enough.
Ras,
quick response.
Because you are my friend, I won't comment publicly on your comments to the effect that lawyer in good standing. When I meet you in Parliament, we'll discuss that. But you see, look.
Have you not been paying your dues?
Leave.
So you are a lawyer in good standing.
Leave, okay? To the extent that it is sanctioned by law, okay? It's paid leave.
Okay.
And so if on an annual basis you are required to take your leave, and you do take your leave as is required by law, you'll be paid. So let it not be said that in the private sector or any other place, you wouldn't pay somebody for 120 days and ask him to stay at home. No, that's what the law. No, I'm saying that if Mr. Domelovo, who is touted as law-abiding, the most competent Auditor General ever on the face, ever seen in this country, was abiding by the tenets of the law that regulated his office, he would have taken his leave annually, and that leave period would have been paid. So the point that I'm making is that to the extent that he was working and he's now been asked to take that leave that he's accrued over the past couple of years that he's been in office, it cannot be said that somebody is wasting public resources by paying him and asking him to be at home. Enough. Because he would have been home at the time. Anyway. Absolutely. You see, the preposterous argument that I've heard is that the decision to ask him to proceed on his accrued leave was because somebody had petitioned the Auditor General to investigate COVID-19 funds.
Yeah.
Why? The Auditor General acts. I'm coming.
Why do you find
hold on.
Why do you find
the Auditor General acts on petitions? He acts on petitions. Which law says that when you petition the Auditor General to carry out a certain audit, the Auditor General is entitled or mandated to do that? It's a statutory duty to audit all public finances within prescribed periods.
Okay.
So what's he talking about?
So you're saying
they are the first to accuse people of playing politics. Audit of public finances are carried out regularly within stipulated periods at the end of the financial year. When the need arises for the Auditor General to carry out specific special audits, they do so without anybody petitioning them. And nobody has prevented Mr. Domelovo in the past from conducting public audits, and I've seen a recent one on some roads that were constructed between 2010 or so and 2017. So what's the issue?
Okay.
In any event,
the issue.
Hold on, please. I sat here quietly when you were speaking. I could speak as well.
Rest. Hold on.
Yes, David.
You see, I did not say that people cannot access their emails.
The issue is that
I said that
when President
in some institutions,
please hold on.
In some institutions, even even when you go on leave, you are completely locked out of the entire system of the organization. That's a matter of fact.
That is not true. That is not true.
Well, you may not know. The fact that you don't know doesn't make it true. False.
I think but by and large, there's that system in place for a mini organization.
Thank you very much.
Where you don't have access, a regular, normal access to the system.
Absolutely, when you're on leave.
So I don't think that's
it's standard practice across the world.
Of course,
you say that this is a government that,
and that is why
has
essentially. If I may.
No, but look, let me make my point. You will get your opportunity to respond.
You wrap up. Let him just make a point, and you wrap it up first. Yeah, Ras, go ahead. Ras, go ahead and make a point.
The point is that, yes, you have access to limited access. And that is why I cited the example of emails that are responded to automatically generated. When President Akufo-Addo assumed office, he ordered for a special audit of not all, but several public institutions. He ordered for it. Okay? So to assume that the Auditor General can't act on a petition or a request, to probe into a particular audit issue is not hinged on law. That is number one. Secondly, I have challenged my honorable colleague, Andrew Mercer, to indicate to us where in the law that says that if you were to not take your leave for a particular period, you have to carry it forward. There's no law that says that.
Okay, thank you.
And I challenge you.
Thank you.
Let the Supreme Court.
Perhaps we're going to move on.
Let the Supreme Court decide
to the next one.
And you see,
please wrap it up for us.
I'm not a member of the Short Memory Association of Ghana. Maybe he is, of course. Because to accuse a president who worked with Mr. Domelovo, who was appointed during the transition period, for Mr. Domelovo himself to admit at an anti-corruption event that the resources that have been made available to his office by this government is unprecedented. Why? The assertion that Kroll and Associates or Kroll Associates is the basis for this. What's the issue? Have you read the documentation that these are sensitive investigations, and so come and inspect it in the office of the senior minister, and for the Auditor General to say that I will not come and inspect and proceed to surcharge? The senior minister proceeded to court in accordance with law to have the surcharge set aside, and for the court to make orders as appropriate to get those documents that were available inspected. $1 million is the basis for why this action has been taken. Sometimes, yes, it's money, I agree, and I don't have it. But sometimes it's important that as a people, when we are questioning decisions that have been taken by others, we at least take a step back and look at the entirety of the whole picture before you draw such conclusions. But of course, we are in a political environment, we are in a political terrain, and so it's good for people to spin purely to achieve a certain political end.
Let's
but then it can never be said that this man, I support his entire dismissal, and I've done so right from the very beginning.
All right,
purely on account of the circumstances under which he was appointed. But His Excellency the President thought otherwise.
Yeah.
And said, look, so long as he's been appointed, I'm keeping him. And he's worked, carried out the functions of his office from the very beginning till now.
Okay, so you're saying that it's for, as far as you are concerned, it's not even enough that he's been asked to go on leave.
I've held that view right from the very beginning.
But he should rather be fired.
And so it's important that we put in structures that prevents a president who is leaving office to make appointments to institutions like this.
All right.
And of course, the allegations are rife as to what it is that appointment was done to achieve.
Fair enough. Okay, so we're going to go and talk about the voters registration exercise and some of the security issues therein. Some messages are coming in on Twitter. Here we have Trinity 1 saying here, I don't think government should be happy defending this act. If President Akufo-Addo is really interested in fighting corruption, as he promised, he should be the first to condemn this act. I'm sure you're talking about the locking up of his offices and so on, the changing of his locks and so on. All right, so Trinity 1 again says here, why won't you be fed up if you are not corrupt? It is illogical to change someone's office lock and claim it's normal. Why in the first place did you change the locks without his knowledge? All right, so thank you very much for that message. Keep the messages coming.
We've all of a sudden forgotten the circumstances of the removal of this same diagement in this country.
It's all right. Let's
by the Mills government. We have all of a sudden forgotten.
This is the viewers.
No, we have forgotten.
Let them make their comments. Okay, so let's the voters registration exercise here. The story here on citynewsroom.com says, police investigate confrontation between armed civilian and officer. The police in the Ashanti region are investigating the incident in which a man is seen wielding a firearm during a confrontation with a police officer. The incident was captured on video, and soldiers were seen trying to calm the situation. All the uniformed persons in the video are known officers who are presently stationed in the Ashanti region where the incident took place. They all reported the incident to their commanders on Monday, 27th July 2020, when it occurred, the police said to City News. We are investigating a video on social media in which a person in an apparent civilian dress is seen brandishing an object which appears to be a pistol in the face of a police officer, with soldiers apparently calming tensions down, the police added. All right. Ras, I'm sure you've heard this story and probably followed it to some extent. What do you make of this story and the general security implications around the registration exercise?
Yes, indeed. I grew up in that particular constituency. We follow events in the constituency. The MP for Asawase, as you know, is my uncle. Now, I find what had happened most unfortunate, but it fits into a pattern of doing things right from day one. I'll give you classic examples. You remember ASP Nanka Bruce, I think on the 7th or 8th of January 2017, at the seat of the president. You had, party thugs who were allowed access into the Flagstaff House, assault a senior police officer in uniform, a senior police officer at that. In the Ashanti region, you had an instance where an appointee of the president was basically, beaten out of his office and dragged out. You had a situation where, for the first time in the history of this republic, thugs of the MPP went into a courtroom and disrupted the court process. Never in the history of our country have we seen, such gross display of thuggery. Okay? And you have a situation where this so-called national security officer, he's not a national security officer to begin with. I've done my checks. He's not. And there is no properly trained national security officer who would do the kind of things he did at the polling station. And I call for his immediate arrest. What is happening in our country is a threat to the very foundations of our democracy. And if we are not careful, they will destroy the country. His Excellency the President is in the dying embers of his administration. Is this what he wants to be remembered for? That under him, senior officers in uniform were beaten up? That under him, party thugs go about terrorizing everybody? That's what it was. I have never seen anywhere in the world where civilians can actually threaten men in uniform with guns. I've never seen it. In the full glare of the public at the polling station. What does that tell you about the current administration? What does that tell you? they are eroding the gains we have made as a country. David, it's been 63 years since independence. Is this what we have to show for our being a beacon in Africa?
All right, let me...
That small registration, we would have party apparatchiks, who are giving Gota phones, parading as national security officers.
All right, okay, thank you very much.
Criminals, I call them.
Thank you very much.
Criminals.
Thank you very much.
Threatening to beat up officers in uniform.
Okay, right.
That is not right.
Thank you.
And national security should disown him. If he's an officer of the national security, they should, answer queries as to why he would do that. Because there's no professional officer of the national security who would engage.
Thank you. But once they've not been tried and convicted, I don't think you can refer to them as that. So Andrew, yes, please make your submission on this one.
No, I mean...
No, Ras is fine. And
it's not quite agree.
Honorable,
you can't justify it.
Fair enough, but Andrew Mesa is on the floor, so let him make his submission.
You see, David, I believe strongly that if we are honest to ourselves and we make a conscientious effort to clamp down on vigilantism, the better it is for us as a nation. And I'll urge my colleagues in the NDC, particularly, to, when addressing some of these matters, be honest, candid, and come to the table with clean hands, with the view that we work together as a people to rid our country of vigilantism. Indeed, it was within that spirit that His Excellency the President sponsored and got Parliament passed into law the Vigilantism and Other Offences Act. Because, yes, unfortunate incidents have happened with people who worked with the party, and when the party came into office, did some acts which I'm not going to sit here and endorse or even attempt to defend. But you see, in the run-up to this registration, senior officials of the NDC, what did they tell us? Mayhem, chaos is what is going to happen at the registration centers if the EC attempts to commence the registration exercise. I'm not interested in going back home, but it's important that when we are having such conversations, we situate them in proper context. Why? The Shreponis of this world we've all of a sudden forgotten. The Collins Dowders and the Opoku accusations of people killing Ghanaian citizens when they were in government, we've already all of a sudden forgotten. But I'm saying that it doesn't help. And it's important that you yourself sit on national TV and say that you have conducted your checks, that this individual who was brandishing the gun, and I've seen the video, is not a national security operative. Yet you are sitting here and saying that people have been given guns and are parading as national security operators. Where's the basis of that conclusion? Yes, I urge that if of course the videos are available, by all means, if what he did there, and I don't endorse it, ought to be arrested and questions posed to him to provide answers, failing which some action in regards to prosecution ought to be taken, by all means. But I'm saying that let us be honest with ourselves. What it is that we do as political parties with these young men that we recruit from both sides of the aisle. Because, David, it cannot be the case that the NDC did not have men who committed heinous crimes on the innocent people of this country when they were in office. But I'm saying that we need to make progress. You want me to list them? You want me to list them? Because I have prosecuted them.
Ras, please.
Look, Baba, who is alleged to be the brother of Colin Dada, didn't take the people of Ahavu area, Sankore, Nkasem, Hidiem, Kukudom, and surrounding areas who said and kill some of them. Why? Those allegations were not made in this country. Nyame Yeboah, Erikopoku Stacks,
Please wrap up for us.
Baba Jamal and his NDC visited atrocities on supporters of MPP in Africa. It didn't happen in this country. But I'm saying that to make progress, how do we collectively beef up our state security to provide the needed security for the political parties, said that these young men who both parties recruit to do some activities for, and when the party then comes to power, necessarily ought to find some roles for them, ought to be discussed without the finger pointing and accusing one party as if to say they are the bad ones and that we are angels, when you know in your inner self that that assertion that you're attributing to your party is not the case.
Okay. Ras, in your we're going to go to the last topic. If you want to react to this, you can do that briefly whilst we take on the last topic. We're going to talk about the comment that Prof. Opoku-Agyeman made and said, my support for the Montier 3 is not an endorsement of their action. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to read the story, but I'm sure you know what the story is. Let me just quickly help our viewers to hear what the story says. It says here, the running mate of the NDC flag bearer, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has the running mate, yes, of the National Democratic Congress flag bearer, and Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has defended her support for the infamous Montier 3, who were jailed for contempt of the court after they threatened the lives of some justices of the Supreme Court in 2016. Professor Opoku-Agyeman said her signing of the petition for the pardon of the convicts was not an endorsement of their actions. Your quick comment there.
Well, to the earlier points that have been made by my colleague Andrew Mercer, I mean, the MPP has been in power for almost 4 years. So if people have allegedly, as he claims, murdered other Ghanaians, they have the opportunity to proceed with prosecution of those people. But I think the proper thing to do, if they really love this country, would be to disarm their thugs, because they're harassing and terrorizing everybody else. Now, having said that, the nomination of Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman as the running mate to the NDC obviously, has shaken the foundations of the MPP. It has thrown them off gear, and clearly it is the most exciting thing to happen to our country. And recognition of the fact that women can also contribute towards nation building. Now, in respect of the Montier 3 incident, David, we have seen worse things happen today under the MPP.
You have a few seconds, so please remember that for us.
That had happened, in the Montier 3 trial. Why have MPP members not gone to a courtroom to disrupt a court process?
There you go.
That is sacrilegious.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
That is sacrilegious of
there you go.
Look, she's a woman. She's a woman. I'm not justifying it. Nobody's justifying it. But you are the people who are playing politics with it. And I'm saying, if that were the case, yes, there are worse things that have happened under your administration than what the Montier 3.
All right, I'll have Ras, thank you very much. I'll have Andrew.
Court process. Brazenly. Okay?
Yes. Thank you very much, Ras. Let me have we have only 2 minutes to go.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The NDCs believe that the nomination of Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman is causing some instability within the Can never be. How is it going to be?
You're not moved?
Why? Is she the first woman that has been nominated as a vice presidential candidate in this country? By a major political party. When it suits you, then you have to qualify it. But it's happened before. And I'm saying that for her to seek to justify her actions of 2016 today, it's unbelievable.
Why?
I would have expected that she would have ate humble pie and said to the good people of this country that, look, upon reflection, the decision that I took to endorse the petition to His Excellency the President then to release these individuals who had threatened rape, murder on my colleague woman was wrong. I think Ghanaians would have accepted that in good faith and then evaluate her on her performance, her track record. I say, and I've consistently said, that Mr. Mahama,
do you feel the justification she's made here
trick the people of this country into taking the focus from himself onto Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman? She is not the one who is going to be on the ballot paper on 7 December. It is Mr. John Mahama and then Mr. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. These two individuals are going to represent the MPP and the NDC respectively. And of course, the other parties who will then file other aspirants to contest. So I'm not interested in Professor Nana, of course, because she complements the ticket. By all means, we have to interrogate.
But the complementing of the ticket is major.
No, how is it major? But of course, no, I agree. Let's just say it's major. It's only complementary. But how about the main product?
Okay.
That's unimportant.
No,
we have to discard that and focus on the complement. The main product is the main product.
Yeah, true.
But I'm saying that the Muntie 3 was not any ordinary pardon. These were non-NDC activists, radio men, media men, who had used their platform to make comments that affected the very core of Ghanaian values. Right. Threatening a woman. It's worse than the lynching of the old lady, unfortunate as it is, in the northern part of Ghana.
Thank you very much.
And for her to have added her voice, her signature to that petition, she can never escape from the consequences of her actions at the time.
All right, thank you very much to you, Honorable Andrew Mensah, MP of Sekondi, and also to you, Ras Mubarak, Honorable Ras Mubarak, MP of Kumbungo. Thank you very much for you watching this segment of the show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We have more coming up.
Do you know that the Electoral Commission is undertaking the compilation of a new voters register this year, so we will register again?
Every Ghanaian citizen of 18 years and above and of sound mind, ordinarily resident in an electoral area, is eligible to register.
What steps will be taken to ensure the safety of the applicants?
Every applicant must wear a face mask before entering the registration center. No face mask, no entry. You will wash your hands with soap under running water. Your temperature will be checked, while you maintain a minimum distance of 1 meter while in the queue. Your finger will be checked for an electoral stain to know if you've already registered before being sanitized. Your data will be captured on Form 1A. You will provide the officer with your residential address, your GPS address, your hometown address, your town and district, as well as the full names of your parents, dead or alive. Then you will be sent to the data entry clerk. The clerk will sanitize the scanner before capturing your fingerprints. He will then type your details into the biometric system, take your picture, and print the Form 1C and give it to you with the Form 1A. You will thumbprint the Form 1A in front of the laminating clerk. Then the clerk will cut out the card parts of the Form 1C. Then laminate your new voter's ID card for you. Your finger will be dipped in an indelible ink. Hand sanitizers will be provided before you leave the registration center.
When are you going to register?
Daddy, I registered during the last electoral exercise, so I won't register again.
Oh, don't you know that this is a total replacement of the old voters register? It means if you have registered before, you have to register again.
Hey.
You will need either a passport or your national ID card to register. If you don't have a passport or a national ID card, you must provide 2 already registered people to stand as your guarantors.
What about your mother who's too old to join the queue?
Vulnerable, persons with disability, older adults, pregnant and lactating mothers are not left out. Download the Voters Registration Form 1A from the Electoral Commission website www.ec.gov.gh. Print it, fill it out, and bring it along with your passport, national ID card, or 2 guarantors to the district office of the Electoral Commission or to the registration center to register. Note that only the vulnerable, the aged, pregnant and lactating mothers will be allowed to print out their form online and bring it to the district office or the registration center.
Register to vote. Your vote is your power.
Dear sisters, I'm in love with a guy, but he is torn between another girl and me. He says he was with the girl before we started our relationship. I confronted him when I had the feeling that they were dating, and he confirmed it. He said he was dating both of us. He told me to give him some time. The other girl is aware he is dating me. She comes to his house to spend the night there even when I'm around, and sometimes sleeps in the same room with him whilst I sleep in the other room. When she calls him and I'm with him, he doesn't pick up, but will sneak out to call her. He says his family knows that he's dating the girl, but they do not know anything about me. Whenever I ask him about plans of our relationship, he tells me to give him time and that he's happy with me and not with her. I can feel she has him wrapped around her fingers. I don't know what to do. I can feel the other girl is not bothered about me being in the picture. Please, what should I do?
Are you like a spare tire?
How dare he bring a woman to the house, sleep in the room with the girl, but you know be firewood?
I mean, it's so messed up and it's so creepy. That environment is not good for you. It's toxic. Please get out.
Listen to me, brother. Must wake up and secure the future. Remember, in this life is never by might or brave favor. Oh no, I feel fight your own fight and cry your own cry. Go when you did, you get buried alone. Must get better, my shot. Must get better, my shot. Things must get better, my shot. Channel, things must get better, my yard. Must get better, my yard. Things must get better, my yard. Channel, it's a mass that you must win. Already for you when you believe. The devil I go come like a thief, whisper in your ear to deceive, but never pay mind to them. Try and put them to shame and make them know that faith are the currency in our kingdom. Oh no, if you fight, you fight and cry, you cry. Go when you did, you get must get better, my shot. Must get better, my shot. Things must get better, my shot. Jano, things must get better, my shot. Must get better, my yacht. Things must get better. Things must get better. It's okay when your friend them never link up, cause your fruit never ripe. Oh, them ones see in trouble. Oh, yeah, that's why me not trust them, me not watch them. Take out the from the retards them, chase the rats them, fill up me bags them, show them real love and me never trust them. Oh no, I feel fight, yo, fight, and cry, oh, cry. Cause when you did, you get buried alone, so must get better, my youth. Things must get better, my youth. Jana, things must get better, my youth. Must get better, my youth. Things must get better. Things must get better. Oh no, I feel listen to me better. Must wake up and secure the future. Remember in this life, it's never by might, so pray for favor. Oh no, I feel fight your fight and cry your cry. Cause when you dead, you get buried alone. So must get better, my youth. Must get better, my youth. Things must get better, my youth, my youth. Things must get better, my youth. Must get better, my youth. Things must get better. Things must get better. Yes, I go by the name Kim Maga. Highly spiritual music to the world. Big C on the keys. One love, up to the top.
Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning.
You've become very famous for class act.
Oh, is that right?
What feedback did people give you?
Many people sending me WhatsApp messages saying, "Is that you? We appreciate you," and all those things. Yeah, so it's heartwarming to know that the effort that you put in, people appreciate it. I mean, that is something I was not expecting getting into politics.
Wow.
So it's you meet somebody on the street, and they say, "We know you, we appreciate you, you don't insult anybody."
Do you miss the classroom?
Of course. You know, I've been going, pre-COVID, I was going to classrooms.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I've gone to a number of classrooms.
A few classrooms across
across the country.
Yeah.
I remember Bepowa, Yamwasi area. Yeah, I was just passing by and I just felt like, let me go and see the children.
Wow.
And we had a nice time. The teacher was not there. Nobody was in the classroom.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they were working on properties of arithmetic. So I took the chalk and we had a nice, they didn't even know who I was.
So that added a bonus for you.
Yeah, I just walked in and they were so excited. I had pictures with them.
Wow.
And I remember going to a DJMF senior high school. The teacher was on. I said, let's do our math and
fun.
Let's have math together. So
wow. Now, how do we overcome our fear of mathematics?
Yeah. Before we do that, I'll probably want to say something about my friend Sir John and his passing. And he talked about fear of delegates, right?
Yeah.
And he's left a legacy. He's worked so hard for the party and country, and I think he's somebody we're all going to miss, and he's somebody that we're going to remember, that he came and he did his bit, and he moved on. So we're all here, we have the space, and I think that's what should inform everything we do, that at the end of the day, people can say that you came, you did your bit. So this is about doing our bit in terms of leaving a legacy and getting people to overcome this fear of math. And you know, some people's dreams have been dashed. Some people who have been the best engineers in the world, but for their fear of math and because of how it was taught to them, today they are not engineers, and some of them may not be in the right even professions that they could have been in. So when I saw the topic and you asked me, I said, wow, I would love to do this. Yeah, because I think it's so key.
Thank you.
And so important. And when you want to link education to national development, think mathematics, think engineering, you think STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And if you can't do STEM, your country is in trouble.
Definitely, but a lot of us, unfortunately, did not have people like you for teachers, and so your math teacher was just so boring. You didn't understand what was going on. At some point, you just came to the realization that I'm terrified of this subject, and I'm going to do everything possible to avoid it. How do we get back to rekindling the little love that we had for mathematics?
First of all, you have to accept the fact that you fear mathematics. Accept the phobia first. And once you accept the phobia, then you begin to look at how do I get over it. Even in exams, when it's exam time, it's recommended that you do a deep breath, breathing out so that there will be more oxygen in your brain to facilitate the calculation process. But overcoming the fear is the starting point. So you have to understand there's a fear of mathematics, and then acknowledge the fact that you are one of those people who fear the subject. And then after that, then that is where the real work begins. Look for ways of making mathematics learning very practical. And that is something that we need to do more with our students. You know, Singapore, they always top mathematics. When you are doing terms or the program for international student assessment, PISA, all the top international assessments, Singapore students top it. So we have to begin to look at, they don't have a different brain than what we have. How is it that that small country called Singapore, how is it that they do so well in mathematics? First of all, Singaporeans understood that they didn't have gold and diamond and all those things. And the only way for them to develop was through education. And they saw that in education, the best way to link education to economic transformation is when you focus on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which lends itself also to higher level of TVET. So there are different kinds of TVET. There's a TVET where you sow by the street, which is fine. But the TVET that transforms countries is when you are doing manufacturing and advanced manufacturing activities in TVET. So that is when the TVET then leads to socio-economic transformation. When people talk about the fact that, oh, Germany...
Honorable, I'm going to stop you here. We need you to put your political hat down and put your teacher hat on.
You have to, it's not politics.
So we're going to start on the, the developmental hat. Let's put it down for a minute, because there are a lot of us who are afraid of mathematics, like me.
No, you see, if you don't create a sense of urgency, you will not change the way you do mathematics.
I agree.
So you have to know that for me to change my country,
I have to develop myself.
Then that is what brings us to Singapore. Singapore as a country came up with what we call Singapore math. The moment they realized that they need to transform their country, and they identify mathematics as a barrier, because they know that math is what will allow them to develop, then they came up with Singapore math.
Wow.
And Singapore math goes from what we call concrete to pictorial to abstract. What it means is this: before you teach addition and subtraction to children, don't just go to the board and say, let's do 1, 2, 3, and everybody say, this is 1, this is 2, and after that you say 2 plus 1. No. Singapore math says, get some concrete items. It can be oranges,
so
it can be mango.
Practical.
Very good. Allow the student to touch and feel it, and understand that there are 3 mangoes that they are dealing with. After that, if you want to do 3 plus 3, you have 3 mangoes here, 3 mangoes there, you have the plus sign between, something they can touch, manipulative, so it's concrete.
How does that help with the student now understanding that this is a real life experience, like I'm experiencing mathematics, someone is not just dumping it on me to memorize?
It's something that they can identify with. They know oranges, they know mangoes, they know it at home, it's something they eat, so it gets them excited, it makes them inquisitive. When they see the first day oranges on their desk, they feel like, wow, what's the teacher going to do? It's something that we call anticipatory set. You need to get the attention of your learners by doing something that makes them anticipate. So the children walk into the classroom and you have oranges here, whether it's a group of students, and then they're asking themselves, what is the teacher going to do today? Are we going to eat oranges? So before you start, you ask the children, how many of you like oranges? And then you see the hands going up. And then say, Oh, oranges. Yeah, have you gone to the market with your mom to buy orange? Some of them will say, yes, the last time I went and we bought orange, but we also bought mangoes.
So it has to be locally relevant as well.
Relevant. So you're getting them excited and excited. Then you come in with why the oranges are there. And then they touch it, because in learning there's something called multiple intelligences. Yeah. And one of the multiple intelligence is what we call kinesthetic learner, somebody who can touch, somebody who can feel. And then we have visual learners, they have to see. Majority of the learners are visual. Then we have logical learners, they are the mathematicians by nature.
They can just memorize it and get it.
But it's a very small percentage of the population.
So why have we for so long stuck with this notion that you put it on the board, the student gets it, and as an adult now, how do we now rethink the way we perceive mathematics?
Mathematics is something that you can teach anywhere. For example, I'm sitting here and I can teach geometry without leaving my seat. Because parallel lines, we've had parallel lines. Look at the lines there, parallel, right? But still, they are going in this direction and that direction, and they are parallel.
Yes.
They meet the other column there, they form a 90-degree angle.
Wow.
So perpendicular, this column is perpendicular to that, going parallel.
So you don't need a lot of materials to even be creative.
You really don't. You can teach geometry right here, and you can finish a unit in geometry by sitting here, because you can see perpendicular, you can see parallel, and a number of things can be taught right here out of it, because there are different shapes here.
All around us.
All around us.
So what I'm getting from you is that, one, we need to get rid of the fear, the phobia that we have. Two, there's an art to mathematics that we have not, considered as far as making it more engaging, touching things. And then you don't need a lot of resources to make it fun. Now, let's look at solutions. When you see an equation, a lot of us fixate so much on getting the answer wrong that we don't find out, we don't enjoy the process, because we allow getting that one answer wrong deter us from even trying more equations.
Yeah, because we have not mastered mathematics. The Singapore math is about mastery. So they go from what is called concrete, then you go to pictorial. Okay. So when I talk about the oranges, once they touch and feel it, they know 3 are here, 3 are there, they are supposed to add, right? But from there, you have to ask them to draw. That is the pictorial representation. Pictorial representation. Then after that, you ask them to count how many oranges are here, 3. So they will write 3 plus 3. So you went from concrete to pictorial, then to abstract. So this is about mastery. You are not just interested in 3 plus 3. That is when you study for test. And that is why we don't do well. So when you are interested in just 3 plus 3 studying for test, you are not mastering it. You are not syncing with it. You are not really doing it in such a way that you can close your eyes and understand, because you went from step 1, concrete, to pictorial, and then to abstract. But once you do the 3 of them, then it sticks in your head. So for example, various mathematics textbooks are written in such a way that they always get to the application last, right? So by the time you get application, the question for application is the last set of questions. The application should be first.
Why?
Because that is when you interface with the concrete. That is why it becomes real for the student. When you talk about a woman went to the market and bought this item, Kobe, and then he bought it for 5 cedis, he sold it for 5 cedis, 50 pesos. People are beginning to think about it within the context of a market woman. All of a sudden, the kid whose mom sells at the market is so excited because you said the mother sells somebody sells in the market, right? So the thing is, why should my man who never went to school do so well in business? Because she understands mathematics. She knows that when I go to the market, I'm going to buy this item because I'll get a better markup. And it's mathematics.
So we're going to talk about how to immerse ourselves into it without necessarily focusing on the answer that we will get. But if you guys have any questions for Dr. Dutroum, this is your opportunity, okay? He's here to help us get over our mathematics phobia, because we need to get that SAT test right. We need to get that GMAT right. So the hashtag is Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550585832. How do we immerse ourselves in mathematics the way you've been saying?
Yeah, once you, and that's why I always believe that you have to have a sense of agency. At the national level, there has to be a sense of agency.
So that there's a framework that we're all operating.
And at the individual level, create your own personal sense of agency. That if I understand mathematics, there's so much I can do. So I will never allow it to be a barrier anymore. When that happens, it's almost like a prayer, but it's an affirmation and to yourself, saying that I don't fear this thing anymore. I understand that it's so practical and so real. Now, from now on, I'm going to the market. I'm going to take my book. I'm going to write the cost of items down. And when I write the cost of items down, for example, if you want your child to be the best mathematics student, you go to the market, and then he's the one who writes down the cost of the items and the prices that you paid. If you went to a shopping mall, they match it against the receipt. They say, Mama, this is good. So by the time you realize, he's becoming more in tune with mathematics from a very practical standpoint. And if you are somebody who is going to do SATs and you are afraid, one of the things that you need to do is that there are some fundamental rules. Apart from the fear, you can get over the fear, but if you don't go to the fundamental rules, know that the basis of mathematics is arithmetic, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So what I always tell people who are having challenges is that go and buy a 3rd grade book.
3rd grade?
Yes, even though you are at the university.
Because you need to get the fundamentals right.
You did not get something right. That is why you are struggling. And if you get primary 1 book, primary 2 book, you can solve it in 2 days. You can solve those problems in primary 1 book in 2 days, primary 2 in 2 days, and then you move all the way. By the time you get to primary 6, your foundation will have been so strong and you will not believe it, because you have interfaced with the foundations that you missed. And this time, from a sense of urgency standpoint, you understand it in a way that you never thought you understand. You're going to be, wow, I never thought I would know commutative property and distributive property. For example, you cannot do equations if you don't understand distributive property. When you see A parenthesis B plus C,
and you don't know distribute the A, you're lost.
So, and then you should know how to distribute and understand combining like terms after you move from that step. So if you know your distributive property, you know how to combine like terms, then you are coming down. When you get down to equations, all that I need to do is the concept of being fair. That you have some aspect of the numbers on the left and some what do you call it, symbols, right? There's something there. Whatever you do to the left, don't forget to do it to the right.
So Dr. Dushum, you're going to come back and you're going to bring oranges and mangoes and all kinds of exciting things, and we're going to do the distribution and everything with those materials, because I think it is so important. So you're saying we should rethink the way we've seen mathematics historically, that it's not something to be afraid of, it is something to embrace. Secondly, we should make it more practical. So
mastery.
So if you immerse yourself in it and you don't focus on getting an A on a test, then it's part of your life, and then understanding it and getting the text will be normal. And then the third one that you said was fundamentals are important. Even if you get rid of the fear and you don't know how to add, divide, distribute properly, you will always struggle down the line. So you're going to come back next week and we're going to put all this into practice, and our viewers will also get all the materials they need, and we'll have fun. Is that okay?
And they should research on multiple intelligences by Howard Gardner.
Multiple intelligences.
That speaks to how different people learn. Because your style may be kinesthetic. That means you need to move around and touch things. Your style may be the lucky ones, the logical. Very few, maybe 10% of the population.
Oh, you're part of the 10%.
But they're different
but you have
things.
The rest of us.
Yeah, you need to really research it and begin to understand this is how I learn.
Thank you
and take
so
it into
much,
mathematics.
Doctor. Yao Edutrum.
Thank you for inviting me.
I look forward to seeing you next week so that we do the practical side. So you bring your oranges, bring things that we can eat when we're done doing the practical. So there you have it. Overcoming your fear of mathematics. If you take these simple steps, you will make progress and then begin to rekindle your love for mathematics. There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't go after your goals because you have this maths phobia. So that was our conversation with the Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Edutrum. We played it again because a lot of our students are back in school. People are still struggling with overcoming their fears of mathematics. And there you have it. You know, everybody has different ways of studying. You may not be the one who likes to read textbooks. That means you might want to watch videos on YouTube that might work better for you. Understanding the basic fundamentals go a very long way, and find ways to make maths practical and also relatable. And before you know it, you've mastered it. We have entertainment highlights right after. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Atu Kwamina. Comedian Funny Face has spoken on how once he tried to commit suicide by crashing himself in his car. He noted that he tried to kill himself using the Range Rover that was given to him by Adebayo in 2012. Some months ago, he mentioned that he tried to commit suicide after his ex-wife tagged him as a 2-minute man, but what he did not mention is how he tried to do it. I went through another depression. That one, I wanted to commit suicide. Drove in at top speed in my Range Rover, he said on Kantanka TV, adding that he drove at a very top speed so he could kill himself. Kitty has announced he will be hosting a live virtual concert on Friday. The concert is dubbed Galaxy A Live Concert with Kitty. The crooner posted a video on his Instagram page publicizing that the virtual concert will be live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. on Friday. The Say Cheese song off his Blue EP has received public appeal and international recognition as it debuted at number 15 on the official Afrobeat charts UK. Drake overtakes Madonna and Beatles to break the US Billboard charts record. Drake has broken the record for the most top 10 singles in the history of the US Billboard charts, overtaking the previous record holder Madonna. And that's all for Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Atu Kwamina.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema, and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204 528 900 or 0244 707 859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the second floor of the GCB building. Website bethellogistics.com. Bethlog, experts in shipping logistics.
Welcome back. This is still Breakfast Daily on City TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, today is the 30th of July. What that means is in exactly 2 days, we're going to go on a journey with the judges of Keyboard Idol as they determine who makes it to the top 20. I've been joined by Deputy Programs Officer Rastina Oparisafo. She's going to tell us more about what to expect. Good morning,
Good
Rastina.
morning. How are you?
I'm good.
You look good.
You too.
Thank you.
Keyboard Idol.
Yes, Keyboard Idol.
1st August. We all can't
wait. So I personally keep on waking up in my sleep thinking, it's almost here, it's almost here, and people call. So when did you say the date was again? It's on Saturday, 1st August at 7 p.m. We go live. And for those wondering, what is Keyboard Idol? It's a competition that we have done for young people below the ages of 15 years. What we are saying, or what we said to them essentially was, if you had any talent in playing the keyboard, and whatever keyboard it was, a guitar, a xylophone, a keyboard as in a piano, or even, what do you call it? An accordion.
Wow.
Is also a keyboard. Yeah. So we said, if you had any talent there, play it and let's listen and see how you make it to the top. And we got entries from all over Ghana. Wow. And we had a bit of a challenge, even choosing
because there are so many different people.
I tell you, I mean,
so talented.
Yes. And you and I being lay, when we listen to it, we think it's the best. Yeah. But then on Saturday, we see how we have journeyed through the entries and then the the choosing of the top 20.
Who are the judges? What are we to expect on Saturday? I mean, give us something.
Okay. So we have different sets of judges.
Okay.
And so I don't want to...
Don't give it all away because we still have to watch.
So for the pre-audition, we have one person who is a doctor of music.
Wow.
He's been playing for years and years. And he's both good in the contemporary and the classical playing of the keyboard. He sings as well.
Wow.
We have somebody who also can play just by ear.
How do you do that?
Well, some people are that good. That is a talent. You just listen to a piece and you're good to go. You can play it by ear.
Wow.
And then we have someone who is also like a music producer who can put beats and everything together.
Okay.
And so, yes, and even our host of the show can do something little on the keyboard. So you should.
So we have the best of the best
of the
best.
We've actually, scanned through, and we've picked like far and wide. We've picked people who have actually gone through the ropes and understand the technicalities of music and playing the keyboard.
Will we get to know the contestants better?
Yes. So for this first episode, what we are going to do is just tell you the journey of how we are picking the top 20 and announce the top 20.
Okay.
So that's what's going to happen for this episode. But every Saturday after that, at 7 p.m. every day, the Keyboard Idol will show. Now we'll take you through the journey of the auditions, and then we'll get to know the contestants who make it to the final 10.
Wow.
So we would enter their spaces, their private lives, their homes, their families, some friends, even the community. So you understand, where they're coming from, how even they got to where they are. And some of them play classical music. Some of them don't at all. Some of them may need coaching. So we get to the realities of life, where they're coming from, whether they have 3 square meals a day, we don't even know. So it's more than a competition. It's zoning into, the very lives of young people who struggle to always make it in these times.
How would we feel as a family come Saturday as we're watching The selection of the top 20.
I don't know about you, but if any member of my family should enter any competition or is doing anything, I mean, I'm for them 100%. I would want to see it through. I want to sit down and see, hey, was this person chosen? Like, is he going to the top? And I mean, because we're delving into the life of the child as well, or the young person as well, what you will see is a representation of the family on set. Yeah. So it's not, as I said, it's not just about this young person coming to display his talent on the keyboard. It's a whole lot of things that come together. So families, communities, friends, churches, you know, it will be a beautiful thing to see somebody from my church sit down and make it to the top 10 and go through the competition. So, if you're listening, know that when you make it to the top 10, you will rally behind you give the support to that candidate, and you need to vote for them at some point.
Oh, so you're gonna let us know all the details of the voting?
Yes, I can let you know now.
Oh, so, perfect.
I mean, in
case we want to rally more people in before we get there.
After the audition has been done and we choose the top 10, once you get into the competition, we start voting
immediately.
Yes.
Once we get to the top 10, we can vote.
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
So
what's the number?
Oh no, I'm not.
You won't give the number.
No, not yet.
But
people, if
people want to start getting.
No.
Okay, we can't.
You just start gathering your credits.
Okay,
that's what matters. But then I tell you that judgment is based on voting and the judges as well. So it's a 50-50, you know, thing for keyboard. So yes, you can have a great comment, but if you don't have the backing and the pushing from the votes as well, that also goes against you. So please, if you really want your candidate to vote, you
can't just pay lip service.
No,
that's not gonna work.
At all.
What's the hashtag to use to contribute to the conversation?
Okay, so hashtag keyboard idol, the full spelling of keyboard, KEYBOARD, and idol, IDOL, and it's together. Please don't separate it. Sometimes I see people separate keyboard and idol. You won't see the conversation. So that together, yes. And follow us. Actually, visit www.citytvonline.com for the terms and conditions, because we don't want you to miss out on a few things. You need to actually understand. So far, you have to submit your birth certificate to actually authenticate that you are the number of years you claim to be.
Oh, that's for the contestants?
Yes. All those things have to be in line. So please visit citytvonline.com to actually, go through the terms and conditions.
And I know the last time you were saying some parents were not picking up their phones. Any tips for parents, because now they're going to come in front of the judges if they make it to the top 10. Some of them might be afraid of the cameras. How do they prepare their words for that?
I think for the selection that we've made so far, we have some pretty young, confident.
Oh, that's good.
Confident.
That's good. That's refreshing.
People, yes. But what it is for the parents that I'm pleading, to keep your phone
You're still not picking up?
No, for me, I think we've done the first part, but when we're whittling down to the top 10 and we're calling you and we're not getting through, it will be a problem.
Pick up your phones,
pick up your phones. Pick up your phones. And please follow the conversations, especially this is a City TV initiative, and so please keep watching City TV for all the updates on Keyboard Idol. And don't miss a day of performance, please.
I can't wait till Saturday.
I can't
just
wait
because of keyboard. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Rans Partisan Force Deputy Programs Manager here at City FM and City TV. And there you have it. Saturday, 7 p.m. We get to find out who makes it to the top 20. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. do you actually use temporary hair dye to get the right color you want, so that you don't necessarily have to keep that color in your hair for the rest of your life, but you can wash it out within hours or days? Mona Sandra Anyuete is going to walk us through how to dye our hair with temporary hair dye. She is the CEO of Elite Consult Ghana. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us.
And thank you for having me.
Before we even get started, tell us the importance of being able to change your hair color when you want to.
Okay, so we all know that hair makes a statement and it frames the face. You meet someone, the first thing they are looking at is your face, and the hair is the framework. So you need to have the flexibility of expressing your personality, not having to commit permanently, but to have the flexibility of changing it anytime you want. So that's where our product comes in.
You look gorgeous, by the way. Thank
you.
Where do we start from? Walk us through what colors you have for us today.
So we have, our product has a range of 9 colors, and you have the option of mixing to create your own unique shades. So I think she has opted to go for brown.
Okay.
Would you mind opening for me? So the product has more like a wax to gel consistency.
Okay,
so
what does that mean? Wax to gel.
Wax, you know, we have the men having the wax that they put on their hair, brush it, and it gives them those nice laid out waves on their hair. And then, especially ladies with curls, with natural hair, we put in gel to help with styling, holding the hair and everything. So this product
is a mixture of both.
Yes, this product falls in between a wax and a gel, precisely.
Wow.
So it makes it easy to apply, and then also makes it very easy to wash off.
Okay.
Okay, so the trick is to dampen your hair, not wet. Take the product, just rub it in your hands, and then you apply it. Easy as ABC. That's it. So don't worry about it staining your face, because you can just use tissue
and it will go
and then
off
it will go off. Just even water will get it off, and that's it. So
And
with
we
her
see the
short
color.
hair, within 30 seconds to a minute, she is done, and then she's out of the bathroom, out of the front door, on her way to wherever she is going, and that's it.
So do you keep it in for a couple of minutes, hours before you wash it out? How does it work?
It's all your choice.
Okay.
You can choose to wash it out if you're having a photo shoot and you don't want to walk around with the color in your hair. As soon as you're done, you can wash it out with even just water, get it out. Or if you want to keep it for a week, 2 weeks, as long as you don't wash your hair, it stays in.
Oh, so when you use this product, you don't
That's
actually, because I'm used to dyeing hair where, I don't know, you mix it with the bleach, you keep it in for like 40 minutes, then wash it out before you see the color. But here,
this is
you're
it.
seeing the color immediately.
Yes, that's it. So end of it, end of story, and then she has what she wants.
So that took 2 minutes.
Yeah, even less than 2 minutes.
I thought we were going to take like
So,
30
and you
minutes to
use
get
very
this done.
small of it. Yes, just a little goes a long way.
Wow.
So what the trick is, the more vibrant you use the color, the more popping it shows. So if you want it mild, you just take a little, apply it evenly, and then you are done.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
30 seconds.
So you just have to take your time and make sure that it covers all the areas of your hair, so you don't have any patches showing through. Yeah.
And then if tomorrow she wakes up and she feels like doing yellow, she can just wash this out.
Just wash it out, and that's it.
Apply yellow, and she's done.
Exactly.
This is so cool.
So you can use it for natural hair.
Okay.
You can use it for your braids. So my hair is relaxed, and what I did was, after I set it in the waves, I used a makeup brush.
Okay.
Dampened it, took the product, and just applied it on the waves, and that's how you see the colors in segments.
And that was it?
That was it.
When I saw it, I was like, that must have taken her 3 hours to do, because it looks complicated.
That was it.
But it was that easy?
Yes, it was that easy.
Okay, what are we going to do over here?
Okay, so Glenn here is opting for a white beard.
Okay.
So I just want to show the men that you also have, Glenn, can you open it for us? You also have We have the gray, we have the white, and then we have the deep gray to black.
Wow.
So you can apply it to your hair, you can just take it.
So we don't have to deal with boring beards anymore. I've seen some guys walk around with blonde beard, and I didn't know how they achieved.
This is the trick.
So you're airing out their secrets this morning.
Yes. So this is a favorite product at the moment. Glenn, can you take just a little bit? Just a little bit, rub it in your hand.
So he's going to show us how to do it ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I don't want to get, because of Corona, I don't want to get too close to his face. You might not be comfortable.
That's actually quite smart.
So just rub it and then apply it to your beard.
Okay.
That's it.
You're already getting the white just in one.
You don't need
just once, and you're getting.
You don't bleach your hair. You don't need to sit there. Health-wise, the chemicals, there are no chemicals. It's natural based.
Really?
Yes. So we can use it for kids' parties. You can use it for old people. You can, whoever can use it.
What do people tell you when they're done and they've just transformed their hair? What are some of the stories they share with you?
I am always getting pictures from my clients. Always. And the thing that makes me happy is when I get referrals.
Yeah.
When clients give you a referral, then you know you are doing something right.
Wow.
So this person buys, goes, brings another friend, and before you realize, they start even selling the product themselves.
Wow.
And it's also an option to make an extra income.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, how is this different from growing up? You have to take the bleach bar, squeeze the thing in there, shake it, then you bleach your hair, and then you have to change it back. How is this different from that old experience?
This is, let's say this is the new era we are in. Everything is instant. You don't have any permanent effects on you. Chemicals are good for you. Chemicals that you use for those things basically cause harm to you, but this doesn't cause any harm to you. Yes, and if you just get tired of it, you wash it off, and that's it.
That's simple.
Yes.
You're putting the power back in our hands.
Precisely.
No chemicals, all natural.
Yeah.
And it's good for you. Now we're going to take a look at how it looks like when you have on braids, because you mentioned that earlier. So we're going to put you to the test to make sure that, and as you guys are seeing there, beautiful pictures of people who have used the temporary dye, and I mean, same hair is boring. When I take these off, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try different colors every Friday.
You can actually use the products on this hair. You can just color the front.
You're gonna show us?
Yes. So you can also use it on braids. So because she already has gold in her braids, she's opting to use the gold.
Your beard is perfect.
So one thing I can assure you is that just water will even get the product out of your hand.
So you can use your bare hands.
Yes,
you don't necessarily need
absolutely. Because I was coming to do another color. That's why I opted for the gloves. So I don't transfer the colors. Okay. So with the braids. And some people usually get worried that the color will transfer to their clothes.
Yes, I was just thinking that as you were applying the color.
So because it's just as a gel, once you have a gel in your hair and you leave it on your skin, some of the product will transfer, but as soon as it dries, that's it, it stays. So the same phenomena applies here. Once this product dries, that's it. It doesn't transfer. So with her long braids, I'd rather position it this way, so it doesn't touch her clothes. Once it dries, she can pin it, it dries, and then that's it. So maybe I'm trying to get a bit adventurous with her. So she has on a blue liner, so maybe I can opt to go for a little blue to match with her shirt as well.
Okay.
So we can do this braid blue.
Have you always been a lover of colors?
Absolutely, even as a youngster. I absolutely love colors. And within a month, sometimes people just get confused. They'll see me.
Like, did I see you? Is it the same person I saw yesterday?
Yes. They will see me with blue hair. The next time I have on wig extensions and I've used like purple on the wig extensions. You know, my husband always says that he never gets bored with me because he never knows.
Your husband.
Hi. He never knows what I'm going to look like when I step out of my dressing room. That's the fun with these products. Yes.
Wow. So for our viewers who might need extra help with this, where do they find you? How do we contact you?
Okay, so currently we are just online.
Okay, which is perfect. It's Corona season.
We do delivery nationwide.
Okay.
So you can just send us on WhatsApp 0203 962096, or you can send us a DM on Instagram, Elite Consult GH _product. We will respond and then we can take it on from there. Yeah, it's as easy as that.
How much will the products cost?
Okay, so the product is just 51 Ghana cedis. And for each container, for the first module that we had with the short hair, she can use it between like 30 to 40 times. As long as she doesn't use a crazy amount. And for assuming someone with the hair like yours, you can use like maybe 5 to 7 times on your hair. So you don't, one container is not one use. You can manage it and use it multiple times.
Thank you so much, Mona, for being with us. And
Thank you too for having me.
She's coming from Elite Consult Ghana. You can find them on social media and, you know, spice up your life a bit. We shouldn't always have black and brown hair. Welcome back.
You had fun there.
Yeah, it was a great day.
Yeah. Mona is amazing. Anyway, so we've enjoyed some good music all morning from King Maga. Yeah, and he's right here with us. Good morning to you, King.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm blessed. You.
All right, now before we talk to him, let's take a look at this new video of his.
My youth, when we are what's doing our people, just pray that. In my guy,
Samson, let me talk to them.
Susumboni bina tata mintina misumi ya frao. Ndeye bine di mechinti nanda nyame mesao. Semya misubamboni bina maki maga mintu minkwa. Mifia before bine di mechina devya mopamo mishira. Susumboni bina tata mintina misumi ya frao. Ndeye bine di mechinti nanda nyame mesao. Semya misubamboni bina maki maga mintu minkwa. Mifia before bine di mechina devya mopamo mishira. Susumboni no. Ndeye womono. Ejama womono. Nana nyame mesepa mono kiko. Susumboni no. Peye womono. Ejama womono. Nana nyame mesepa mono kiko. We live in our own life, so I pay and see we go great. Them never want see we go bigger and get great. Them want to kill me up. Them want the Toyota system. If I feel me up my luck, let me up in luck. I say go out and me feeling me out. I know lie me I tell. I know rock me I rock. When them see we progress, them follow we back. And them want see we be my luck.
King Maga.
Yes,
Oh, you can tell us about yourself. What inspired that single?
I mean, life, you know, it's actually a prayer. I was saying a prayer to the Most High to cast out all the evil spirits. I mean, so somebody no be home like my home, like out so that I can actually make it in life. Basically, that's.
How has the journey been for you in the industry?
So far, so good. It hasn't been easy, same way, and it hasn't been like hard too. I mean, I've had people around me, you know, trying to put things in place to make my journey, you know, a little bit easy. So, I mean, big thanks to Kewa.
Yeah.
He's been a father for all of us. I mean, highly spiritual music. So, he's been supporting us from day one. And I want to use this opportunity to say a big thanks to him. The good Lord bless him.
How important is it to have a mentor like that when you're getting into this industry?
It's actually a blessing, you know, because I grew up watching him on TV, and now I can call him on the phone and seek for advice and all that. So it's a blessing. I'm trusting the process, and I'm enjoying it too. I mean, like with time, everything will be all right.
You're talented.
Yeah,
You're really
trusting
talented.
the process. I like the way you put it, because a part of your story also is that you did well at Hitmaker, and then when you started your music career, then you decided to go back to barbering as well to support what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's obvious, like little do we see investors, put in money in our music industry. So I had to help myself. Before someone will come in and help you, you have to like prove a point. You have to put yourself out there. So I decided to find a way to fund my own music. So through that is when I got to know Kewa. So if I had slept, I wouldn't have been here with you guys.
So sometimes preparation is even more important than waiting for the opportunity. You're super talented. I mean, you're giving me the same advice I got when I interviewed Creamy when he started with Kewa. I mean, the sky is the limit. Where do we get your single? How do we support you? Where do we follow you on social media?
On all platforms, King Maga. You can get all my songs on iTunes, Spotify. It's everywhere. When you hear it playing on the radio or on TV, you can Shazam and then get it. And your social media? King Maga on all platforms.
YouTube channel?
King Maga.
Thank you so much for being with us, King Maga. We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
Thank you at home for staying. It's been a great show.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah,
I've totally had fun.
Yeah.
So tomorrow is a holiday.
Friday.
Well, it's Friday.
Farouk is going to bring us food that we'll eat on set to really celebrate the holiday in a massive way.
You're really looking forward to this.
I mean, Farouk is like a low-key editor. Like, he's calm, but his taste buds are out of the world. So if he's treating us, then you know what to expect.
Farouk with the eclectic taste buds. Okay, it's going to be fun.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. My name is Jiva Ekia Abetam.
And I'm David Kwekusechi, and I'm expecting something big from Umar Rusanda as well. So,
And our very own producer, Anas Seidu. Anas, don't be stingy this time around.
But you know Anas already. I mean, it's difficult.
He'll call his constituents to come together for this project.
We'll see how it works.
Thank you guys. Stay safe, enjoy your day, and we'll see you on Friday. We'll have a blast. It's the last day of July as well, so we're gonna enter August with a bang.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your day.
Take care.
Bye.